Okay, so the other video had our formulas. Now we're going to use them. So here I have a rectangle. So that means to find the perimeter, I'm going to take 2 times the base plus 2 times the height. I'm going to label one. So I've got my height and my base. So that means it's 2 times 5 plus 2 times 9, 18 and 10. So I get 28. My units for perimeter are going to be the same as my units for the measurements here. So it's just 28 centimeters. Then we'll look at our next example with circumference. So we'll look at 2 examples here. So the circumference is either 2 pi r, or if you're given the diameter, which we are right here, the circumference is pi times the diameter. So it depends on what you're given. Here I'm given the radius is 16, but here I'm given the diameter is 16. So that's going to give us some different options here. So I plug in what I know. I've got 2 pi and the radius, and the directions are going to be pretty clear. Most cases, leave it in terms of pi. If it says round, we're going to round. But if it says leave it in terms of pi, I'm going to plug in the 16 and erase some of this so I have some space. And I'll get 2 times 16, and I'll stick the pi at the end. My units, again, circumference is basically the perimeter of a circle. So my units would be just units and not units squared. If we had, let's say, 16 centimeters, it would be 32 pi centimeters. So that's for that one. And we're going to move this one over here. And we're going to do pi times the diameter, because that's what they gave us. So it depends on what they give you. You just kind of fill it in. So it's pi times the diameter. So that's 16 pi units. If you're given just values here for our rectangle, and now, always read the directions. We got to make sure we read the directions. We're looking for the area. Area of a rectangle is base times height. I got to check. I have a base of 4 feet, a height of 15 inches. I have a bit of an issue here, though. We got to check our units. We have to be working in matching units here to be able to find the area. So instead of having 4 feet, I'm going to change my feet into inches so that we match. So 4 feet is 4 times each of those 12 inches. There are 12 inches in a foot. So for every one of those, I'm going to have 48 inches. So now I can find the area with the same units. So it's 48 inches, our base, times 15 inches for our height. I'm going to get a value here. And we'll get 720 inches squared. One thing to also note, we check our units, and then area is square units. So in this case, it was inches squared. Last type of question you'll see, and we'll practice this in class, area of our circle. So our area of our circle, and we want to leave it in terms of pi. So area is pi times the radius squared. So I take a pi times the radius, and it looks like they gave me a radius this time. So 12.5 squared. And I get 156.25 pi. And it'll be units squared, but we don't have units right now, so you can write u squared, units squared, or you can leave it without it for right now. Once we have units in there, we'll be good to go. If you're given a diameter, like for number 10, so I'm given the diameter of 200. What's the radius? Okay, so the whole thing is 200. So that means from here to here is half. So my radius is this piece, and it's half. So the radius is 100. So now I can find it by doing pi 100 squared. So we're going to add some zeros to this. And we're good to go. And it's a unit squared again. You can write it like this for the homework if they're missing any units. If not, if we've got centimeters, we want to write centimeters squared.